Alright, hi guys, how's it going? Hey, I'm just going to make a video. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all doing well and you having a good start to the week. Just want to talk to you guys about, let's go down a really deep rabbit hole here and really talk about the Matrix. I mean, like no other video that I have made. And so the thing is that before we were programmed and everything, you know, we had a contract. We had agreed to incarnate here on planet Earth. And how I know this is that through all the confirmations, you know, like of everyone talking about this and saying, look, we had a contract, we had a soul contract before we came into planet Earth. And I do recall that Dolores Cannon also mentioned that, you know, quite a lot of us had this soul contract to come in, right? She talks about 3 waves of volunteers. Now, many of us, when we incarnated into these vessels, these bodies at birth, right, we came in with full awareness. We came in knowing what our missions were. We came in knowing our purpose to incarnate here on planet Earth. We were aware of just about everything coming into these vessels and incarnating here on planet Earth. We knew our missions, we knew our purpose, we knew the plans that we had for our lives as soon as we came in. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. We knew it was going to be at times roller coaster because of all the energies coming in. We were well equipped. We were well advanced in knowing everything coming into these vessels, these bodies. And a lot of us, you know, have our missions, had our part of off-world programs and Solar Warden, Super Soldiers, the Radiant Guardian programs, right? Once we come into these vessels, these bodies, well, all of us, all starseeds, right? All starseeds, not just a few here and a few there, but all starseeds have their full awareness of who they are, their mission, their purpose, the programs that they were on and as part of their duty, whether it was off-world programs, whether it was as a super soldier, whether it was a counselor of 13, whether it was whether you were part of the Radiant Guardian programs, whether you were part of the off-world programs. You came in and you had full awareness and you knew your mission, your purpose for incarnating here on planet Earth. You already knew everything, and you knew everyone else that was part of the mission, a part of the Council of 13, a part of the Radiant Guardian programs, a part of the Super Soldiers, a part of Solar Warden, all of it. You knew all of it and everything that was going on before you incarnated into these bodies and when you incarnated. Now, a lot of us, starseeds, and I think there probably be at least about 70, 80 million starseeds that are here on planet Earth right now. That is just a small number. But I tell you what, the thing is that those are the starseeds that volunteered to come here and that are here on planet Earth. Now, because we come in with full awareness and that we are fully awake, that we know our missions, we knew the plans and the purpose and the soul contracts that we had coming in, we knew that everything wasn't going to be easy, and we were all told, right, that a lot of us may even lose our memory of who we are. Only because once coming into these bodies, the programming of the 3D matrix begins. It begins with you given a name, right, at birth, or while still in the womb, you're given a name. You may have your first birthday, with your parents, etc., and all the rest of it. You are given a name, and the programs begin. You grow up, and as you continue to grow and as the programs continue to download into your psyche, right, that is when you forget. You forget your mission, you forget your purpose for incarnating here on planet Earth. You forget that you are part of the off-world programs. You forget your mission and everything. And the thing is that there are some that were very, very powerful starseeds that even though they were being programmed at birth and while growing up, they just never forgot. It didn't matter how much of the programs that they were programming some of the starseeds with. It's just that those ones were quite powerful, and they, none of the programs had any effect on them. And I would have to say that Ishmael Perez is like one of them that is very powerful, that when he incarnated into his body at birth, when he came into his body at birth and his programs began, it didn't even have any effect on him. And he didn't forget. Hence, why he can actually share about everything that he remembers. But there's many of us starseeds that when we did incarnate into these bodies and the program started to begin, is when we did forget. We did forget who our missions, our purpose for incarnating here on planet Earth, and we did forget all of it. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. And yet the thing is that once we are plugged in to the 3D matrix of our programs, that becomes our story, our life of who we are. And so, I tell you now, if only our parents had been awake and, been telling us growing up that we're a starseed, that we incarnated here for a very important mission and purpose here. If they had been telling us these things and reminding us that we came in to planet Earth, into these bodies, and we are here on a very important mission as part of the ascension, as part of the awakening of humanity. And that would have been really awesome, wouldn't it? It really would have. However, you know, when the programs began, that is it. Some of us didn't even have a chance, right? And many of us, you know, forgot. We had forgotten. We forgot our names, we forgot our mission, our purpose, our plan for incarnating here, and we became the stories that we were programmed at birth, growing up, to believe that that is who we were. So, yeah. The thing is that you are plugged into the matrix, and when you're plugged into the matrix, you are plugged in these bodies of your matrix. It is your programs, right? Your stories. You have this story made up about you. Growing up, you go to school, you know, you are taught a certain way, to think a certain way, to live a certain way, to be a certain way. You believe your cultures, you know, they created cultures for you to identify as a race on planet Earth. And it becomes your new identity, and we call it the human conditioning. It is the identity entity. So your whole life you're growing up, a story's created about you. You've got your school, you go to your school, and it all starts right from birth when you're a baby. So you know, you go to maybe daycare, or you go to primary school. You know, you've got teachers that are teaching you your ABC, teaching you basic math, and, you know, how to read and things like that, which is all fine and which is all good, because you know you need to learn how to read, right? You need to learn how to spell, and you need to learn how to add basic mathematics, etc. when you're little. So you go to primary school, you go to intermediate, you have friends at school, you play sports, have recreational sports and things like that growing up. And you've got your friends, right? You might even have play dates and things like that, and you know, you just grow up with the people that are a part of your story, part of your universe. And so you're growing up with this story of who you are, and your family, your relationships, your friendships, right? Your jobs. Maybe you're a truck driver. Maybe you're a checkout operator at a supermarket. Maybe you are a doctor. There's a possibility that you are a veterinarian, right? Or even anything. You could, your life could be just anyone. You could be like Trinity, right? or should we say Tiffany, from the Matrix of, so you could have been Tiffany, right? Like building motorbikes, having children and a husband, and you know, always going to your most favourite cafe and things like that. So that's kind of like how it is when you plugged in, right, into your matrix of your stories, and the stories that are created about you, right? And so, because she is plugged into the matrix, she's actually plugged in as Tiffany. But the thing is that when she does experience her awakening, she becomes Trinity, right? And so, yeah, back to being programmed in everything, in every way. Being given a story, names, date of birth, and you get into that place where you just believe that all the stories that are being created now, all the stories that are part of your program, of your matrix, right? Your matrix right here, in your vessel, your body. So those are the stories that are being created about you. And you start to believe, well, you actually do believe that that is who you are. Because it's like, well, you know, my name is Josephine, and I go to university. I'm studying art. I am wanting to become an artist, and or maybe become the most famous artist in the world. Or you could be Richard, who is working at the police station, and he's been working there for like 5 years now, and that's who he is. Or, you know, could be a truck driver, right, and you make deliveries of cargo to different towns, different places. Or you could be a taxi driver that has been working in taxis, and your name is Ben, and you've been working on taxis and driving the taxis for like 20 years, and that is who you are. Alright? So all of these stories created about you to get you to believe that that is who you are, and that there is nothing else. There is nothing else outside of that story. And the story, so you have a beginning of your story. The beginning is when you are birthed in a hospital, or wherever it might be, you know. That is where the story begins. That is where the programming begins. It begins the moment that you come into these bodies at birth, and then it all starts there. And yet the thing is that your story doesn't end until you physically die, or something, you know, if you die of natural causes, or if you die of a, you know, maybe something's happened, like an accident or things like that, of that nature. And so you've just got this created story about you, And that's not who you are. You came in to these vessels. We incarnated, all of us. The whole 70, 80 million of us that have incarnated into vessels and bodies at birth, or a walk-in, right, where there's a soul swap between a consciousness that's here and one that comes in and the other one goes out. So that's a soul swap. There's more on that. I've made a video about that. I share about my experience as a walk-in soul swap. So if you haven't seen that one, please go watch it. And yeah, I go into a little bit in depth on walk-ins. Okay. Right. So yeah. So just getting back to these matrix and how we come into these bodies. The programs have already begun at birth, and we're growing up believing that we are our programs. And the thing is that there comes a time in your life where it is you experience an awakening, you experience a ascension, right? You start to ascend. You experience awakening where you go through a dark night of the soul, and what that is just a ego death, right? Dark night of the soul is an ego death. It's like the fabricated person story, or story made up about you to make you think and believe that that's who you are, really isn't who you are. So when you believe that story of who you are, that becomes you. But when you experience an awakening, then it's awakening to your truth. It's awakening to the truth that you are consciousness, that you are soul, that you are the watcher, right? You are the observer. You are the one who notices, right? And kind of like the movie of the Matrix, the first Matrix, where Thomas Anderson was still plugged into the Matrix because he had his life, he had his stories, his personality, his emotions, and the rest of it, that's who he was, as Thomas Anderson plugged into the Matrix. But when he experienced his awakening, right, when he shifted in consciousness to an awakening, he then became Neo, right, his true self, consciousness, soul, source, creator, and watcher, witness, observer. That's when he became his true self. And just like Trinity, when she was on the Matrix of Resurrection, she was Tiffany, right, believing her stories that she is a mom and that she's got 2 children, has a husband, and her name is Tiffany. And that's the story that was made up about her. You know, they gave her a story, and it's kind of weird, and it's really funny when you can decipher that program, because that's exactly how it is. You know, they just give you a story and say, this is who you are. You've got children, you've got a husband, you build motorbikes, blah, 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 and the rest of it. And And it's weird because, you know, when you watch the Matrix of Trinity, well, actually Tiffany, right? When you watch her and she is plugged in to the Matrix, right? And she had to make a decision whether she was going to stay with Neo or stay with her family. It's like you've got to make a decision. Are you going to go with your family and stay with your husband, your children, and it's basically asking them, are you wanting to stay in the Matrix and stay asleep? Or do you want to go and be with Neo? And for her, it was like she had to make a choice. And I think that's kind of like for all of us, is that it's free will. We can choose to stay in the Matrix, and some do, or we can choose to awaken and experience our awakening and evolve and ascend. And you know, just from gathering information from that movie, and when she started to walk away from Neo and said to him that it was too late, and she got up from the table and she walked away from him to go with, and this is Tiffany plugged into the Matrix, she got up and she started to walk away with her husband, right? And as she was walking away, she looked back. She looked back at Neo. And it was there in that moment that she realized. And the love and the bond is so strong, it's so powerful. But that she made a decision that she wanted to go and be with Neo. And so she came into awakening, right? Just in that moment, she came into awakening, experiencing an awakening of her true self. And she turned to her husband and she told him that her name is not Tiffany, and to get his effing hands off her, and that her name is Trinity. And she, yeah, I mean, you guys already seen it, so you don't need me to remind you and tell you what happened next. But that's exactly what it is, guys. Is that we've been programmed at birth, given names, given stories, given programs, everything that's created about us, of who we are, became our identity. Identity, entity. Right? And the thing is that so many of us had believed that that's who we were. And you know what? It's no wonder that so many of us, you know, just go through a lot of stress, go through a lot of anxiety, go through a lot of just depression sometimes, you know, feeling lost, feeling like something's missing in our lives. And the very thing that was missing is you. The true you, your real self. You are consciousness. You are soul. You are source. Creator. You are divine, feminine or masculine, whomever's watching this video. And yeah, so we wow, just go through so many programming of the matrix and of these bodies, and took on that entity, and believed that everything about our lives is who we are. And once we get into our personality, once we get into our mind, our thinking, our programs, our ego, emotions, thoughts, feelings, once we get into that area of believing that that's who we are, believing that we are our cultures, our race, our jobs, our families, and the rest of it, it's really hard on you. It is hard on your thinking, because it's like, you go through life. Your life could be wonderful. It could be really great. It could be really good. You could have a really good job, lots of money, a good relationship, be in the happiest relationship, have beautiful kids, right? And life is beautiful. And then for some, life isn't great. Life is just full of confusion. Life is not working out for you, even though you've got a job and you've got a husband and you've got children, you've got family, and and it's like, over here it's a bit of chaos, and over here it's perfectly fine. Everything's wonderful, everything's beautiful, everything's great. But it doesn't always work out that way for everybody on planet Earth, that are still in their matrix, in their programs, and believing that the stories that are made up about them is who they are. So how do we get out of these stories? How do we get out of these programs? How do we escape the matrix? How do we wake up from the matrix, and how do we unplug from it, right? And that will be a question that a lot of people have. It's like, well, how do I escape from the matrix? How do I get out of it? Well, it is a time where you experience an awakening, and you kind of feel like there's something missing in your life. You feel like you're just wanting to know the truth, and you're just wanting to find out exactly what is out there, what is going on in the world. And sometimes it takes things like 9/11, right? Everybody remembers that. Or what took place in 2020, okay? So things like that can actually trigger an awakening. And when you experience that, that is when you start doing some research. You start, you go on the internet, you go online, you start to find information about, what's happening, what's going on, why am I feeling this way? I have this certain feeling, I need to find out why I feel this way, right? Because you're experiencing an awakening. And so you go online and use some research, and you just keep going, and until you find and come across people that you can connect with, that you can relate to, that some of the information that they share and talk about is making a lot of sense for you and that you can resonate with, right? So it takes a while. I mean, it just doesn't happen just like that. And for example, the Resurrection, the Matrix Resurrection movie, where they were doing surgery on Trinity, when Trinity was in the pod, right? And they were doing some surgery on her, and they had to be really careful, because with all surgery, even if it's like in the hospital and things like that, you have to be really careful, because you could probably hurt them or even kill them, right? So when you're plugged into the Matrix and you're unplugging from your programs, you're unplugging from your stories, you're unplugging from your personality, from your emotions, from your thoughts, feelings, your mind, and everything that's going on, you unplug, right, from the Matrix. But I think for many of us, it is just one plug at a time, right? One here, one there, one there, one there, right? Just one plug at a time. And that's how you escape it, is that you're just stripping it away a little by little at a time, all right? Stripping away the ego, stripping away the personality, stripping away the stories, stripping away the thoughts, feelings, emotions, everything that's going on, until you come into a place of consciousness, soul, source. You come into your true self of who you really are. And as you grow and evolve, and you start clearing out all the plugs of the Matrix, you start to free yourself, right, from your ego, from your story, from your personality, from all the programs that you've been programmed with. You unlearn and relearn, right? And you just slowly but surely start to evolve, start to blossom, start to become the person that you truly are. When you first incarnated into your baby body, that's when all your memories start to come back about who you really are, what your mission was, and what your purpose is here on planet Earth. Right? So things are starting to look really good. So I just wanted to share that with you. I want to go even deeper with this, and really talk about these of how to find the truth, how to find your truth about who you are, and what your mission, what your purpose, what the plans that you had for your incarnation here on planet Earth, as part of the awakening of humanity, and as part of the ascension of our planet Earth, helping our Earth to ascend and heal, right? And also paving the way for humanity, right? The 3D matrix, everything was just everything in the 3D matrix is a lie. Everything that we were told, everything that we learnt, everything that we thought we were, And the thing is that we became prisoners. In our bodies. Our bodies became our prison cells, became our matrix. And that's how the programming started, is to program this through movies that we watch, through the schools that we went to, through the social lives that we had with friends and family, through the universities, through our jobs, through having our friends and social life. And when we believed all these things about us, we had tunnel vision, right? Can only see here. But we couldn't even see further out of what there is. You know? We couldn't even see outside the box. It's kind of like that movie, The Island, when they're in their facility, thinking that that is all there is. There is nothing else beyond the walls. That's it. That's all there is. And so, yeah, just had to really share that with you guys, and we'll go deep into this even more, because I really, really want to just go deep into this rabbit hole and bring you more truth and help you guys, you know, come into your truth of who you are. But not only that, it's kind of like, it's inside, right? It's the truth, it's the idea and the escaping from the matrix. Alright, my lovely subscribers, I love you all. Please rock that like and subscribe button for you, girl, and I'll see you on another video. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Bye.